it's Coach Key back with another video. And as always, I want to first invite you to listen to this with an open heart, an open mind, and definitely an open eye. With that being said, I'm just going to get right into it. So today's video, I'm going to be talking about our ancestry. So let's just take a second and think about ancestry. Of course, when we think about ancestry, we think about our bloodline, the lineage, and even about generational trauma, because generational trauma does revolve around this, and it's a lot deeper than we think it is, and it's a lot deeper than what a lot of individuals are talking about. So when we're looking at our bloodlines, and I hear people like, what do you call it? One of those, I don't know, what's some like fab words that people use, like words like spiritual and chakras and ego, death, like words like that. Like generational trauma has become one of those words. So it's like, I'm trying to break these generational curses. I'm trying to break these generational curses. And when people say that, they're always talking about their family lineage, and most of the time they're talking about the treatment that they have gotten from family members and things of that such, because we all go through stuff in our family, because yes, we do have to heal from it. But what we don't realize is that those things that are coming through this bloodline are things that have been following us for centuries, for millennials, for eons. Like I don't know how far back that will go, right? But it has been following us way past our bloodline. And people seem to stop at their bloodline and don't think about the, I'm gonna say, beginning of where it all started, because we're all one. We're all connected. And if you think about it, I'm seeing like a tree, and it has millions of branches. However many families there are in the world are these branches, and it all comes down to this one. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna it all comes down to this one trunk. So if you think about it in that way, thinking about those branches, and all those branches are connected to that one trunk, that's what this is. So you may have a friend who's dealing with this generational these generational lineages, and you are dealing with these generational lineages, and that they're this branch, you're that branch, but you all come down to the same trunk. And I'm a firm believer, and I speak about it all the time, and I'm gonna continue to speak about it, that we are one. We all come from the same source, which means that we're all essentially dealing with the same things. They just look different because of our perspective and the places that we were put being on this realm, whether you're from the West Coast, the East Coast, whether you're from the United States or South Asia. So it all comes down to this trunk. So what does that have to do with generational curses, generational trauma, and this healing that's taking place in this realm at this point in time? So we're waking back up, as people will say. Like I say, I'm gonna say online. We are coming back online, and we are beginning to realize that, oh snaps, there is no separation from this, that, and the other. So when it comes to the generational trauma, when it comes to healing, and we only look at our family that we came from, we are limiting ourselves. If you look beyond the generation that you came from, because think about it, before you touch down in this realm, this life, you had a past 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 life. Now, those past lives are part of those branches that all run to the same trunk, because in my past life, I was a geisha. In one of my past lives, I was a Caucasus individual from where like Europe and Asia Media, like the Khazarian. I don't even know if there are any Khazarians left now, but yeah. So, and then one past life, I was a farmer named Eustace, and these were all different ethnicities, all different races, and they all come back to me. So if we can see that we have past lives and they all come back to us, why can't we see that this healing and this generational trauma goes beyond the family lineage? The generational trauma, a generation is more, if we look at what a generation is, we see that it does not say Coach Keys generation. It doesn't, it's not going to specify a specific generation. A generation is broad, just like the millennials, that's a generation. The baby boomers is a generation. Gen Z is are we Gen Z? I think we Gen Y. I think millennials are Y. But anyway, so these are all generations, and we're in that generation. So when it comes to healing the generational trauma, we have to look beyond the bloodline and look what was going on during this time of a generation. So if we can predate this all the way back to hunter-gatherer times, we look at that and we'll see that a lot of individuals in the hunter-gatherer time, they ran in tribes. And they ran in tribes because back then, food was scarce, housing was scarce, just things that we don't have to worry about now, we worried about then. So when it comes to the hunter-gatherer time and how things were back then, the emotion of anxiety played a major role in anxiety played a major role. Working together played a major role, because it was easier for you to defeat a predator if you were in a tribe, whether you were by yourself. And also being anxious allowed them to basically be on their toes all the time, because way back when, the mortality rate was very high and they didn't live past teenage years. So the ones that lived past being teenagers, they had to adapt. And in order to adapt, they had to use certain emotions that benefited them at that time. Fear is another one that saved their lives. That saved their lives for them to be able to reproduce and create the next generations to come. So when we have the hunter-gatherers and all these emotions and all these things that they had to deal with, and now they're passing it down through biological markers, chemical markers, things like that, like within our genetics, these things are being passed down. So that was passed down to, we're going to say, like great to the 10th power grandpa. And that great to the 10th power grandpa passed it down to your great to the 9th power grandpa, and so forth until it got to your grandparent. And 9 times out of 10, you knew your grandparent. So you may not necessarily understood or have witnessed what they went through, but you hear stories and things like that. Then they pass that down to your parent. Then your parents pass that down to you. So all these things that are getting passed down, if we go back to the hunter-gatherer, and like I just said, all the things that they had to deal with, fear, anxiety, that helped them survive, survival, instinct, things like that, it was passed down to us. So I love the way Dr. Anders put it. He said that we are the descendant of the anxious ones. So all the things that they have dealt with, we are still dealing with, although we have a roof over our head, although we have food at abundance, although we have water at abundance, although we have all these things at abundance, and we no longer have to worry about those types of things, we worry about those types of things. And that is part of the trauma, because those types of things keeps us away from experiencing what it is that we actually are here to experience, or to actually heal what it is that we need to heal. So when it comes to the healing of the generations, we have to go beyond what it is that we see. We have to, and the reason, because it's like, I can take what I know from my family, and I can say, okay, I need to heal from this, and then I'm healing from it, and then I heal from it. It's like, all right, woo, good job, we did that. All right, we've elevated another level. We've surpassed that cycle, and then it comes back around, and it's like, well, what the hell? I've already dealt with this. You know what I'm saying? I forgave this person. I forgave myself. You know, I like all these things that we do when it comes to this, the process of becoming authentically who we are, because we're missing a major piece. It goes beyond that. When I feel like when we know the true underlying, it makes it a lot easier to overcome. It makes it a lot easier to deal with, and it makes it a lot easier to understand. That's just like if someone told me to write 6x plus 3x on a piece of paper, and then say that it equals 9x, I'm like, okay, I understand. I see what that is, but I don't understand how we got that. So we'll have to break down to the individual how we got that answer. You can understand something, but if you're not understanding something, how can you truly overcome it? And that's where we get to a point of, a lot of the times we get to that understanding, but we lack the understanding. So all these things continue to cycle within our bodies, within our energetic field. So getting down to the underlying and understanding, overstanding where these types of things sit and lie dormant, or why it's even like this in the first place, for real, because it goes beyond your mother. It goes beyond your father. It goes beyond your abuser. It goes beyond all of that. It does not start with them. But what we do is we place this face on the things that we have to heal, which now we're just focused on that. And we have to go beyond that in order to truly overcome all of this turmoil, or turbulence. Turbulence. I don't really care for the word turmoil, because we all chose this. So it's turbulence. We all have to overcome this turbulence, and we have to understand, overstand, so we can exostand where it all starts. And it starts there. It starts beyond the lineage that you were born into in this lifetime. So I hope that all made sense. And of course, leave some comments. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what came up for you. Let me know if any of it resonated. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share this with somebody. Definitely share it with somebody, because we got to get this information out here. We all have to. We're all on this journey of healing. And if I can reach one person, and that one person can reach another person, and that other person can reach another person, we reach thousands. I'm truly and forever grateful for that, because that's the purpose of this work, and I love what I do. So I trust that this video finds everybody in good grace, and until next time, deuce.